More stimulus checks are going to be confirmed. That's according to multiple sources in Congress, and many people are talking about the fourth stimulus check. Anywhere from our politicians, even to President Biden. So here is the latest stimulus news. As the Build Back Better bill and the new government, stimulus aid is promised installed on Capitol Hill. Millions of Americans are urging that more relief be passed. Now the good news is that the families can still count on additional aid at tax time. That's due to more generous tax credits via the American Rescue Plan Act. Now, many people are eager for the extra help, and a petition for $2,000 stimulus checks almost is at 3 million signatures. Now, in a March letter to President Biden, Democratic Senate leaders supported recurring stimulus checks, and right now, many Americans have money coming to them, if they have still now received all that they were due from the past 3 stimulus checks. Now, there could be a bit of unclaimed money for people who may be struggling with a rough economy. Now, more stimulus checks may be available to individuals and families through what's known as the Recovery Rebate Credit. 3 stimulus checks were sent for up to $1,200, $600, and $1,400 per person. The first 2 checks were deployed in 2020, while the payments of up to $1,400 was sent earlier this year. Now, each check came with its own set of requirements, and payments were based on certain income thresholds that gradually phased out. Moreover, guys, rules for which dependents qualified and how much they could receive also varied. People who qualify but did not receive their payments of up to $1,400 this year may file for that amount of money at tax time. Some people may stand to receive additional money if their income has gone down in the past year, or if they added another dependent to their families. Additionally, those who are still due the first checks for up to $1,200 or second payments of up to $600 can still claim that money. However, they will need to file a 2020 tax return to get those funds. Everybody, here's the most important stimulus news. The Earned Income Tax Credit, which helps low to moderate income workers, has also been temporarily made more generous for 2021. Individuals and families who were not previously eligible for this credit may now qualify for this next year. But the credit is now available to younger workers with no age cap for older workers. It has also been made better for filers who do not have qualifying children, with a maximum credit of around $1,500. Childless workers need to have earned income below $21,000 or $27,000 for spouses that are filing a joint return, and be at least 19 years old to qualify. And families with children earning up to about $57,000 can still claim this credit. The largest amount that may receive this credit is around $6,700, which would apply to a family with 3 children at the peak income. But many families have also received monthly payments if they qualify for the higher child tax credit that was put in place this year. These monthly checks only count toward half of the sums due to families, with the rest set to be credited at tax time. For instance, a family with a child under age 5 may receive a total of $3,600 with $1,800 in advance payments, and another $1,800 due when they file their 2021 taxes. For children ages 6 and over, families stand to receive $30,000 and $1,500 in advance payments plus $1,500 at tax time. However, the enhanced child tax credit eligibility is all based on your income. So families with modified adjusted gross incomes of more than $150,000, if married and filing jointly, $112,500 for heads of households. If families did not know about the advance payments or never received them, they can claim the full sums when they file. Overall, everybody, there are a few different ways for eligible Americans to receive extra stimulus money, so it's definitely a great idea if President Biden does stick to his word and sends us 4 stimulus checks before the end of the year.
Thank you. I think Senator Hoeven has said it well. You know, I don't think any of us expected to be able to support legislation that would be a huge new spending increase, $1.9 trillion back in March, and this one really is over $4 trillion because you have to assume that some of these popular programs will not be sunset, as they never are sunset here in the Congress. So it's unprecedented in terms of the spending, the largest bill ever. And then in terms of taxes, what a terrible time to raise taxes on the American economy and the American worker, American families. So I don't think we expected to support it, any of us, but I think we're really shocked by how bad it is. And particularly the fact that what they have done, I don't know if they meant to do this or not, was provide a huge tax cut for wealthy Americans. Let me give you a data point that is kind of shocking. 2/3 of millionaires, people making over $1 million a year, will get a tax cut under this legislation. 2/3 of people making over $1 million a year will get a tax cut, primarily because of the SALT cap being increased, but other reasons as well. Actually, the number is over 68%, so it's almost 70%. And if you make $30,000 a year, only 30% of people get a tax cut in the first year. After the first year, it's about 10% and goes down from there. So think about that. They're putting forward a bill that not only has this gargantuan new spending and all these tax increases, but the benefit of it goes to the higher end. And I don't think people think that's fair. And so I do hope that the American people look at this and understand that by putting more stimulus in the economy, of course, you're going to increase the demand side, therefore inflation. So that's a huge issue. People I represent are primarily concerned about inflation right now. Of course, we don't want to put taxes on the economy right now as we're trying to get out of this pandemic. But it's even worse than that because it's so skewed toward benefits at the top end. Again, almost 70% of those people making over $1 million a year get a tax cut. If you make $30,000 a year, 30% get a tax cut in the first year, and after that, it's 10% and then less in the preceding years. So it's a shock to me. Here's the other point that I've been looking at that I think is very interesting. The cost of the SALT cap increase is somewhere between $230 billion and $285 billion, depending on which analysis you look at. But it doesn't matter which analysis you look at. It's still $100 billion more for the SALT cap than for the cornerstone social policy in their legislation, which is the child tax credit, right? So when you look at this, the child tax credit is getting $100 billion less than the SALT cap. The SALT cap goes, again, skewed toward the wealthiest. So I don't know. I mean, maybe they meant to do this. That makes it even more surprising to me. I'm not sure they did, but this is what it is. And this is what the American people are going to judge. Does this benefit me? Is this the right thing for our country at this time of high inflation?
The main reason I'm here is because there's a guy from Searchlight, Nevada, who has been fighting on behalf of Nevada for most of his life and is now fighting for working families all across America, and that's your Senate Majority Leader, Harry Reid.
Then President Obama discussing the now late Senator Harry Reid, who passed away on Tuesday at the age of 82. He rose from humble origins, as Obama mentioned there, growing up in a home that had no indoor plumbing. He was also an amateur boxer who boxed his way into the political scene, taking up the leadership of the Senate Democratic Caucus. He was a minority and majority leader and did that for over a decade. He sometimes used that bully pulpit to try to just stop Republican onslaughts, like George Bush's proposal to